think when you start doing art in the first place, like whatever you choose to do, whether it's painting or whatever, there's something that you want to express, and then you find out that you can sort of try to get there with art, and then that's how you do it. And I think everything that we draw from, and everything that we're going after and trying to capture in the songs, is coming from this place in our childhoods. So it's like I can't imagine like rediscovering music in the same way that I found it initially. It was when the bands that first appealed to me, like first struck me, was like it was like it was like an AC/DC live CD of my dad's. It's like that, the energy in that CD and the way it just struck me straight through the head at that time. That's gonna stay with me for my whole life, and that's why we're doing this today. We all have that experience in different ways across the four of us, and I don't think that changes in in age, because I mean it's the origin of why we started doing this, and I think in the way you're always after things that you can't fully recapture or that you can't always relive. We'll always be hunting for that first initial spark and trying to recreate that song that I heard that made me do this and try and give it to other people. Straight up just love music, like absolutely, like it's like I'm exhausted now, but there's like but to be honest, I feel better now. I'm like doing this. It's just talking about music and just like and performing just brings you back up like that. It was like 2 hours ago, like I was like, how am I gonna move all this equipment into the venue? Like I can't pick up my arms right now. But I mean, but I have complete faith in when as soon as you step on that stage, you get hit with a bolt of lightning. It's amazing. The music, that's why. Music. I think if the music wasn't there, it would probably kill you.
Risky business, that man. Risky business.
I just thought it was the most amazing idea.
Everyone apart from me was like, oh, wicked idea, wicked idea. I'm like, yeah, cool.
We made a music video in basically the cupboard of our drummer's house, and then a manager saw that somehow. I think it was through like a mutual family member or something, or family member, mutual friend of our manager, and then he started using his connections to start sharing around that video, and then we got to go and record a track at an actual studio because of that video. Then that actual track got shared around at record labels. So we started meeting a bunch of guys in suits about like who wanted to come and like let us release a single or something like this. And I always found myself in the interview with these record label people asking like, have you heard the music? Like, do you like the songs? Because they'd sit there and they'd just sort of like say like what they wanted to say, like over a drink or whatever. And then they'd like keep buying you drinks and like keep cracking jokes. And it was like, mate, what is this? Like, we're a band, this is talk music. And then we went into, and then one day, Dirty Hit wants to talk to us. And we're like, oh, am I allowed to swear? Yeah, we're like, oh, fuck. It's like, this is crazy. So we went and spoke to them, and they were nothing like any of those labels. They were people who had serious passion for music, who had creative brains, and who were like us. They were just like artists, and we went and spoke to them. And it was absolutely a no-brainer. Like we just went with them almost immediately as we stepped out of the office. We were like, these guys are incredible, and the label was amazing. We have to sign with them. And I think it was and the advantage that Dirty Hit brings to us. Not that I've had any experience with any other label, but I think that from what I can work out, that passion that they have for music is the same with us. And then that's our advantage, is that we don't ask for advice from guys in suits. We ask for advice from music fans and people that are really into their shit. So that's it's a fantastic advantage, possibly the best and greatest advantage that we have as a group, aside from ourselves. That's kind of intentional. Like, I think there's a thing that we are. I think in our hearts, it would be stupid to say that we're not a rock group, because I know that we're a rock group. But it's like, but the way that we want to voice that is change the cliche of what makes that rock group. So it factors into like distortion on the guitars, or like the mixing of the whole track, or even the language that you use in the track. We want to make the song that you don't need cliches for it to be a rock song. Like the thing that we want to do is write the acoustic song that is undeniably a punk song. It was like that, where it would be like, without even hearing it, if for some reason you could detach your senses and you'd see the song, you would know it was a fucking rock song, and you'd see the violence and you'd see the energy in it. So I think it's not intentional that we glide around, but it is intentional that we're trying to defy our own genre and still be very much a part of it. Had this breakup. It was lovely and wonderful, and it was and when we went into making the CP, we go, right, we're going to make an EP of love songs, but they're going to be twisted love songs. Like in the same way of we're making rock music that has different cliches, we're going to make love songs that have rock cliches. So it's going to be like, so we're looking for songs like that. I have a habit of walking around really late at night, just like parading around my hometown in southwest London. And one time I was walking through like a graveyard and I heard like screaming, and I ran over to where that was coming from, and there was an old man lying at the bottom of this little stairwell who had just like cracked his head open, and he was like bleeding all over the place, and it was awful, and his wife was like obviously like very, very upset and was crying about it. So it was like so I was like, listen, you need to phone an ambulance, and I was trying to like calm her down about it. And anyway, as I was walking home from that whole event after the ambulance had been and everything, I remember thinking like, man, it's like I wasn't a fan of religion up to that point at all. But I mean I kind of hope that she had a silent person that she could pray to that night and be like, and kind of speak to and be like, please make sure my husband is all right. So it's like that was playing on my mind a lot with my own superstitions, because I'm an extremely superstitious person for some reason. And then around that time, I saw a Chinese medicine shop. I realized that Chinese medicine is designed to save people's lives, and it is not proven in Western medicine. I mean, it can often be the route to new, like ridiculously, where did that come from, fantastic Western medicines, but for the most part, it's not scientifically sound. So it's like, so I drew kind of a connection between there, and then wrote this kind of mental scenario where that guy that I found back in Richmond down the alley fell over and cracks his head, and then everybody just suddenly like chooses where they're going to put their faith in. So some people go, oh, thank luck, thank this many rings I wear around my finger, or thank my jewelry. And some people go like, oh, thank God. And some people go, oh, thank love. And then some people go, thank that Chinese medicine place, because why else? So it's sort of just like, so I think the point of those words is to kind of bring into account how ridiculous faith seems from a distance. You're like, where did you guys come up with this idea? Like, what, you're resting all of these really urgent things in your life on this force that isn't necessarily proven. And at the same time, when an event like that happens, I think an allowance should be made for people's faith. I mean, as long as it's not hurting anybody. I mean, it's okay for that woman that night to be religious if it's gonna calm her down because of her husband. So it's just so the song lyrically was to design that, and the instrumentals is just like, we fucking like fast music. So like I attached that narrative to that song, and that was how that came about. And so it's a love song to faith. Yeah. I actually had to tone it down a lot, because my rituals would be like insane. It would be like tapping the top of doorways and like ringing my fingers and like just like whistling all the time, because it's like, but we've condensed it down now so that I'm not fretting about the show all the time into a chant that we do, and the chant is very secretive amongst us. So it's just a thing that we can do, that we can kind of, and the words are like very embarrassing if people overheard us, because it's like and we shout it as loud as we can to be like, right, whatever happens this show, we probably won't do anything as silly as this right now. And then also my superstitions play into it, because I don't know, maybe it like puts us at ease with the music god. I don't know.
We're gonna play Heavenly She Comes, which is another track on our EP, and I hope you like this one as well. I digress, we'll play a different one instead. This is called Family Portrait. It's to be angry.
Husky Loops is a band that I really love. I think they need a lot of help. I think they're sort of, they've done this like hip hop kind of philosophy in rock recently, and sort of their name would suggest Husky Loops. They use a lot of like digital like trickery, and it comes off amazing. And they're like how do I describe them? It's like modern Jack White, coming from guys who have the innovation that just young musicians have. Not that Jack White doesn't, but I wasn't a big fan of the last one. Is that? Sorry, that wasn't. Was that? And then Husky Loops. Can you think of anyone else? Valeras, our tour opening acts, are amazing. They have this sensational rhythm section. So it's like, it's almost, the way I'm seeing it, it's almost like proggy, but it's not like super techers, but it's like, it's really dancey, and the lead singer has this unbelievably powerful voice. Definitely listen to them, and we're very lucky to be playing with them right now. I mean, now that we've done this first headline tour, I mean, we want a headline tour all the time. I would love to get that in order for next year. And also, we've been in the studio for like a month, and we're going to be in the studio until early next year. So we're working on our next releases. It's just like a bunch of songs. It's going to be that. There's definitely going to be potted shows around. Tour, potted shows, loads of music. That's about all I know for now. Yeah.
You think about an album with all these recording sessions? Or?
That was like. I'm like not allowed to say yes.
Xylophone cover.
Our EP, I Have Love, is out. Please pick it up if you got the chance. I have a feeling you like it.
We get on, we get on, we get on.